The Epstein files are all over the news and everyone is arguing about whose name is on the list. But there's a much bigger question hiding in all of this that nobody wants to ask. Because this scandal isn't really about one island or one group of powerful men. It's exposing something broken in how men relate to sex and power. And that same brokenness is the same reason so many men right now can't access the kind of deep, powerful sexual connection they actually want with a woman. So in this video, I'm going to show you what the Epstein files actually reveal about masculine sexuality, why it's connected to what's blocking you from real intimacy and connection with women, and the first step to healing this shadow. So here's what nobody's talking about. Every man connected to this case had massive external power. We're talking about billionaires, world leaders, spiritual gurus, guys who could walk into any room on the planet and command instant respect. Some of them literally taught other people about consciousness and higher living, and yet behind closed doors, their sexual shadow was running the show. Now, when I say shadow, I mean the parts of yourself that you hide or deny even to yourself. Think of it like a leak under your kitchen sink. You can ignore it for months, but eventually the water shows up somewhere you don't want it. In your sex life, women feel that leak even when you think you got it all covered. And when you start pulling on this thread, it doesn't stop at a handful of famous names, it keeps going. Look at how big the porn industry has gotten. Look at how dark and violent it's become in just the last 10 years. We are basically giving men sexual shadow and all-you-can-eat buffet, and then we act surprised when things go wrong. And I'm not talking about the guys who need to be locked up. I'm talking about the ordinary, decent men going about their lives, but quietly consuming stuff that feeds that same shadow. And whether they realize it or not, it's building up inside of them and affecting every interaction they have with women. Society basically gives us men two options with our sexual energy: repress it or let it run wild in dark. And neither of those works. You can try to use willpower, stuff it all down, being the good guy, pretend that you don't have these urges, but that just builds pressure. We have seen this play out for hundreds of years with religious leaders, priests, gurus, imams, guys who preach morality on the surface, but have a shadow festering underneath that eventually explodes. Suppression has never worked because it doesn't touch the root. Or you let your sexual shadow run in secret. Maybe it's the late night browsing when nobody's around. Maybe it's the fantasy world in your head that you never admitted to anyone. No matter if you're single or married, it's still wrecking your ability to connect with women sexually, because that shadow energy doesn't stay in the dark. It follows you into the bedroom. She can feel it in how you look at her, in how you touch her, in how you carry yourself. And it's the reason sex keeps staying shallow and surface level no matter what you try. And the reason you can't access deep sexual connection with a woman isn't because you need better technique or more confidence. It's because she can feel the shadow. She can feel the gap between who you presenting yourself to be and what's actually going on underneath. Women are incredibly tuned in to this, and that is the gap that keeps sex stuck at surface level, even when you know there's something much deeper available. The shadow has to be healed, actually looked at, sat with, and worked through so it stopped running your life. So here's an exercise you can start with. For the next 7 days, keep a note on your phone. Every time you catch yourself going to porn when you're feeling lonely or frustrated, or scrolling through Instagram models when you're bored, or disappearing into fantasy to escape what you're actually feeling, write down what is happening right before. Maybe you had a rough day. Maybe you felt rejected. Maybe you were just numb and checked out. And don't judge that, just track it. And after 1 week of doing this, you're going to see a very clear pattern. That pattern is the shadow showing you exactly where the wound is. And most men have never looked at this. They just react on autopilot. And if you want to go deeper, I got a free shadow work guide you can download, link in the description. Now, that's the first piece, but knowing that you have a shadow isn't enough. A lot of guys figure this out and they try to think their way through it, and that never works. Which brings us to the part that most men completely miss. Look at how many spiritual teachers and self-help gurus have shown up in those files. Guys who built entire careers teaching people about consciousness and higher living. Millions of books sold. They can talk about spirituality better than almost anyone on the planet. But talking about it and embodying it are two completely different things. You read the self-help books, you watch the YouTube videos, you understand the concepts of presence and polarity, but the woman in front of you isn't responding to your knowledge. She is responding to how it feels to be around you. She is responding to the energy you carry when you walk into a room or when you touch her. A lot of men do their personal growth from the neck up. They understand the theory of sexual mastery, but it all stays intellectual and it never lands in their physical body. And women can feel the difference between a man who understands presence and a man who actually is present. That difference is everything. So the shadow, those patterns we talked about, they're not stored in your mind. They're stored in your gut, in the tension you carry in your chest, in the way your whole system tightens up when you're around a woman you're attracted to. You can't intellectualize your way out of a nervous system pattern. You have to meet it in the body. The ancient masters understood this. The yogis, the tantric practitioners, they all knew that real sexual power gets cultivated in your body. It's about learning to feel your own energy, hold it, circulate it, and direct it with intention instead of just dumping it out the first chance you get. That is what transforms you into a man who chases sex, into a man who radiates something women actually are drawn to. So here's something you start practicing tomorrow morning. Before you reach for your phone, the first thing you do, sit on the edge of your bed with your feet on the floor. Close your eyes and just feel yourself for 2 minutes. Not thinking about yourself, but actually feeling the weight of your legs, the breath moving in and out, and whatever tension is sitting in your chest or belly. And don't try to fix anything. You're just making contact with what's actually going on inside of you, because most men spend their entire day up from their head in their thoughts, completely disconnected from their physical experience. So when you start doing this consistently, something shifts in how you carry yourself. You become more solid, more grounded, more magnetic, and women are going to feel that before you can even explain what you've been doing. So now you can see that pattern, the same shadow that played out on a massive scale in the Epstein files or running quietly in millions of men right now. Suppress it or act it out in secret, both lead to the same place. Sex becomes shallow, connection stays surface level, and you never access the kind of deep sexual power that's actually available to you. Seeing this pattern is step number one. Actually healing it is a whole different process. That's why I put together a free shadow work guide. Grab it in the link in the description and start doing the real work. It goes way deeper than what I could cover in this video. So start now, because your sex life is a direct mirror of what's going on inside of you. Blessings.